All right, everybody, welcome back to the LPL. A Game 1 was had between these two teams, OMG and Starhorn Royal Club. That was a little bit messy, a little bit crazy in the end. Starhorn taking victory in the first game of the night. Big ups to Rapid. Thank you for stepping in and taking over the cast while we had some technical issues. Please, welcome back to the desk. It is Frostgren. How you doing?
We miscalled that Baron steal so hard that
I
fell
like
off
the last
internet.
5 minutes. I was so beside myself. I can't believe my voice like DDoSed you. I apologize.
It's totally fine. Strange things happen at 4 o'clock in the morning, but we are going on to Game 2 and very convincing victory for Starhorn Royal Club right there. I think initially, though, if I'm going to be frank and honest, that was pretty much won in picks and bans. We talked about kind of pre-game that effectively across the board, Starhorn got exactly what they wanted. Nothing was really taken away, despite kind of, you know, a 2-ban strategy against the mid.
Yeah, and as well played, I think that was from certain individual members of OMG. Yeah, well, Going played as great as you can, trying to carry a game on the back of a cow. Cool really tried. I think is Ari seeing that. There's no reason for him to not take that champion. The issue was they got so far behind so early, and kind of it was a catch-up game, and Starhorn suddenly found their confidence with that other Baron and managed to get themselves all the way through. Big ups to especially Insect for setting up a lot of things, but Uzi also finding the catch kills out.
We'll see how Starhorn Royal Club is able to translate this momentum of this victory and kind of continue through the rest of the set, or if OMG is able to adapt and, you know, pick something up. Big issues. I think also the tidal waves coming out from Chicky Boy, Dada, whatever you want to call him, Coma. Not really the most on-point disengages that they really need. Had a very important role in his composition and unfortunately didn't come up where his team needed. We'll see if he continues with the Nami pick or if maybe they switch that up, go for a more aggressive bot lane. I mean, Pyro, what did you think really went wrong there? I mean, you know my opinion as far as picks, bans, comfort picks, things like that, but well, we don't really get to see, you know, from Pyro's corner.
Ah, well, if you're asking me to do analysis, you know, you never know.
I feel like Starhorn, my water.
Okay, so Starhorn should have had that game sooner than they did. In all honesty, they could have won that game about 10 minutes earlier had they not been afraid to take fights. As it was, they played a game that is so conservative and so unlike them in a lot of ways. Insect, it seemed like their synergy was a little bit off, and then they kind of remembered, oh yeah, when Insect goes in all ham, we have to follow him. And that ended up turning the tide in their favor. They were so far ahead by that last push that's what kind of propelled them over the top. But as to the beginning, yeah, they got an early lead, and they could have kept it much easier than they did.
Well, I think a big issue for Starhorn Royal Club's composition in specific was their lack of really hard engage CC. You have to think, to start fights, they effectively were relying either on Insect to get a knockback, on the rare occasion that you could pull someone forward with a shockwave, but, you know, typically you want to perfect that to get a massive AoE damage, or you had a death sentence. It's not like you had like the Leona or the Alistair and competing against, you know, the disengage from Nami, the Spirit Rush and mobility of Cool. It's awful because they're in the same league. Or the disengage from Alistair. So, you know, a couple of competing issues as far as the tools in each composition there.
Yeah, I think that they will have to play a little bit differently. That's really all you can put it. Both these teams, honestly. OMG, you can tell the effects of struggling to switch over to Dota 7 have been a bit of an issue for them. Son had a rough early game, as we expected. He did come back and make a bigger impact. Uzi wasn't as big of a factor, but we know Starhorn has been switching away from that. So, Insect coming up big. I think another unsung story was Korn playing his heart out against Cool, and that being kind of a stall out in the mid. Well, where do you think these two mid laners go going forward? The Orianna pickup should be very hotly contested, I think.
I would expect to see OMG take that away from Korn if they kind of go on their same strategy of trying to ban out and take away from him. The issue, though, is we talked really highly of Cool's Ari, you know, pre-game, and, you know, when it was in kind of that one when the team fight since, you know, you could tell that he really understood what he needed to do with the champion. The issue, though, was kind kind of the more over-looming game presence. And the fact of the matter is, I think that Korn was much more effective for his team than Cool was, which is actually very unlike Cool. You know, he got off a very late roam. The roam didn't really translate into any major objective for OMG.
And even when they did, you know, they ended up trading kills unnecessarily. Drug, particularly, had really poor positioning that game.
Well, the biggest issue, it goes very early to that lack of warding, and it was actually very smart from Starhorn Royal Club because Drug had started the blue buff. They knew that they hadn't leashed and that they had come into lane, so effectively Starhorn had eyes on the bottom lane of OMG the entire time, and then, you know, took complete control of that lane. So it was just a very methodical, okay, we know that that's not warded, we know that you can sneak in through here, we're going to keep the pressure on so you can make this advantageous and very aggressive play in the jungle, which is, we talked about it, Insec is going to gank bottom or he's going to find kills in the jungle, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep. See if they can do it again. I think this next game has to be so much more different than the first one. That was, frankly, one of the sloppier games we've seen out of playoff contention.
Comparatively to the EDG LGD game, as far as, you know, vision alone, yes, night and day. That was
we're spoiled.
The mid-game stall out there was a little bizarre, and especially the team fighting. It seemed like both teams just were kind of waiting for something to happen. And of course, that was that pick. And we talked about, you know, each composition and the disengage versus the hard engage, and how they didn't, you know, normally have as many tools as we would like to see these Chinese teams bring.
Absolutely. And speaking of big plays, big tools, really knowing what you have on the team and utilizing it. Starhorn has been doing this so well, especially in that bot. Zero's been coming up big, but here we go. Back into picks and bans. Lulu taken off the board immediately. This time Starhorn will be on the blue side. What does OMG answer with?
Lulu will always be, I feel like I need to address this, Lulu will always be a big pick ban for China because of the strength of their AD carries and the fact that Lulu is a mid-bridge champion. She's going to be a very early bully in lane, and then she's going to transfer all of her power late game to that AD carry. So that's why you will always see a lot of Lulu bans or a lot of Lulu picks.
Very similar bans, speaking of, by the way, out the gate now. Alistair once again taken off. They don't want to give going that, but he does have a lot of tools in his arsenal. You can't ban the guy out. And, well, Starhorn will have the first pick, and they do choose to use it on Orianna. So, once again, Korn going to get that champion.
I feel like we're going to see Zed. That's my guess. They are going to look to pick away Lee Sin from Insec. I agree with this again. That said, but, you know, Insec obviously showing great proficiency with that champion.
Very true. Oh,
likewise, Thresh.
Pick up. And Dada kind of needs this. On his back and forth run on OMG, he's kind of only really found relative success on Thresh. And I think that that prioritizing that is a wise move, just because OMG doesn't really have much else to do unless they go for that. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was just about to compliment that because they're on Purple side has a higher win rate in China because the counter pick is very important, and I like what OMG was doing here by kind of taking, you know, a 1-2. You know, they expected that it was probably going to be an Orianna first pick since it wasn't target banned away. But then by taking tools away, the Thresh and the Lee Sin, again, not letting those comfort champions go through, I like that it was a 1-2 pick and then allow them to counterpick the Orianna how they wanted to do that. But of course, changing that up, prioritizing Kog'Maw for San.
Please lock in Draven. I want to see Uzi on Draven.
Draven.
All right, well. Tristana pickup. Okay, now that's what we've been saying we've been wanting to see. Okay, so this gets picked up, and they go with the Thresh lock in as well. Honestly, Starhorn, I feel like winning this pick ban phase all over again.
If that Corki goes in, it's going to be a mid-AP Kog'Maw.
Yeah. That is not something that's been unheard of, and it looks like they don't go for it, but it so far looks like it's still a flex. That's going on Aurelia. Once again, that's going to be a rough top lane now for Cola.
I'm rolling the dice for Zed. Come on. Cool,
you know,
give me Zed.
If it's AP Cog, though, that wouldn't be the worst case in the world if they go back to Corki for this one. And, of course, the jungle lock-in. Playing around with it just a little bit, see what they do. Cola is a very Jax-dependent, or at least he has been Jax-dependent on the past. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back onto that comfort pick to deal with Aurelia, and they do. Nocturne, though, for Insect. That is big, and in fact, I believe you were just mentioned, you were talked to about this by Monty on Summoning Insight. Why doesn't China use Nocturne? Well, there you go.
We well, technically, it's going to be the Korean jungler and the Chinese.
All right, fine. And
lead
it's AP
playing
Cog.
Nocturne.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
This game is
Got
looking
our
more
AP
Korean by the
Cosma.
minute.
Got our Nocturne jungles. Pyra, I'm going to give it, before I break down team, who do you think is going to have this right now? Just your initial reaction.
Oh, they gave too many picks over to Starhorn. I mean, this is... You can't count out OMG, especially when they're going for the composition that they are. But these are all, again, comfort picks for Starhorn Royal Club. Huge ones, in fact.
Yeah, and as I look across, I feel like another big issue for OMG, though, is their disengage, especially because now they're against a Nocturne. You have effectively, what, Morgana? Shield for the backline there.
And you have to guess what you're going to get targeted out to. I mean, that's the other thing. You can't really predict where he's going to ult onto you. It's a danger.
The tank line, too, is so different. The fact that Jax can be more versatile. He can either, you know, peel effectively because he does bring that CC, or he can just jump to the backline with Nocturne and assassinate people. The protection that Orianna is going to grant the AD carry. Likewise, as well as just the threat of Ori being there. I feel like the Starhorn Royal Club composition is a lot more threatening on different ways that you can play that team fight. I'm excited to see how Cool handles the AP Kog'Maw. He has not played it yet in LPL. I believe the only AP Cog player we have is Wayless, LGD's mid laner.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of AP Cog in general, but yeah, this will be a very curious matchup.
It's almost, I'm going to use the word pseudo-Nidalee in as far as objective control and laying down that crazy damage. And you think back to China, especially the last game or the previous game that we just saw, it wasn't big on, you know, objective control, especially in that kind of mid-stall game. So we'll see if they're able to change gears and kind of change the mentality of having this pick.
Speaking of changing gears, that's what Insect looked like he was doing, grinding those around on that Nocturne skin as we see game at number 2 coming up, Starhorn OMG. Well, I mean, there's a lot riding for this one. If Starhorn takes game number 2, I mean, how big is that for their morale versus OMG's to be on the precipice of moving on forward into the next round and facing off against Edward Gaming? It's definitely going to be something they want to have in their pockets, and they're playing very confidently in this game. It's already looking to be a little bit of a different start.
See how OMG does with their early warding and hopefully not getting burned in the jungle. Of course, picking up Lee Sin, a very strong 1v1 duelist jungler, so obviously protecting himself a little bit there. Can't count on my laners, gotta do it myself.
Also, both the mid laners this time going with the mobility summoner spells, not taking heal, so they're playing it fast and loose this time.
I expect that Korn realized that the Ghost was going to be taken and probably took his to follow this AP Kog'Maw around for collapse. And then the mobility, you know, dissonance, being able to chase that little guy down.
This looks like it might be a lane swap after a late invade. You see San and Dota 7 following up.
Wanting to stall out Cola's relevance on that Jax there. Likewise, San was not having a good time in that bottom lane. That said, again, spotted out by Ward, so you see Insect just moseying over to the blue buff. Zero's going to go ahead and leash that for him.
So this will be a very predictable game for the first couple minutes, just because, well, we know exactly what happens when this lane swap gets engaged. It's going to deny Kola quite a little bit. He could just sustain out as best he can. Now he's waiting in this bush very patiently. Ooh. San, be careful, but so far he's doing fine. They do the switch up of the supports as well, so they send Dada back. Does
San know he's there?
I don't think he does. Now he does. Okay. That's just going to prompt the counter-strike. I mean, Jax's early game is still pretty rough right now. I think San should have an edge in that one, especially with his range. I'm more interested to look at this mid, though. I mean, you mentioned it. Cool is going to be able to kite and poke out, especially once he hits 6. That's going to be a troubling lane for Korn.
The poke is there. That said, again, a very low mobility champion. Is against the Shockwave, is against the Paranoia, so even though it's the shortest lane, it's very scary for little Kog'Maw to be there. Cool has to be very aware of his positioning, especially as Insect grinds out that ultimate. See how that's used and how that'll determine the mid lane.
Absolutely. That's going to be such a stellar initiation tool as well once we get into the later stages of this game. I can't wait to see how these team fights unfold. That's going to be absolutely nuts. But right now, no shenanigans of any kind as both junglers complete their secondary buffs. And everything resets to a vague semblance of normalcy.
I feel like this champion, AP Kog'Maw, doesn't necessarily really fit in Cool's MO. He's very much more about kind of dominating the mid lane, constantly being pushed. You almost have to play a little bit more passive with that. We do see Drug actually on the top of Insect.
He might
See if they'll run into each other.
He's the one in the bush this time.
He wants revenge.
He does. He remembers the pain of last game. And he might get found out by Corn, though, actually. Oh, he's trapped right now, but he's okay. No one sees him. Blindness is no
Doesn't actually have any wards, so he's kind of just feeling this one out. He knows in the general area the Insect is.
Okay,
There we go.
This will be the jungle duel. This will probably end in first blood, unless disengage right away. Drug doesn't actually want to take it. I think he was going to see if he was a little bit lower than that.
It's probably just the communication from his solo lanes on who was going to get there first.
Yeah, that's definitely something got to be careful for. Watch out. I mean, Drug did give up that first blood and at least one of his buffs last game, which seriously cost OMG. But this is a very different game already, very evenly paced for both teams, and even though Starhorn is making a little bit more, I want to say, aggressive moves, just you can tell the way they're working, it's being mirrored very well by OMG, and I think they're fine with that. They have a lot of late game potential.
It's curious that they didn't swap the support to follow. That Zero stayed in the lane. I mean, there is a threat of an Aurelia versus AD carry, but Tristana, relatively safe with her range and her rocket jump. Because right now, prioritizing, Son is getting the free XP and free farm as opposed to Uzi, and you would think that would be reversed just due to their reputations.
Yeah, and they're also prioritizing the jungle at the top too. There's Drug, but here's Insect in the bot side. Drug, meanwhile, up to the top. Valkyrie over. Cola is low, and Drug looking to bully out. Gets the connection. Oh, but he backs away right away. Doesn't want to get counter-struck. And Cola will get off.
Good gank right there. Cola walking out, didn't burn his flash, so we'll see if Drug is able to capitalize on that cooldown being down. The one good thing about Zero hanging around in that bot lane is if Starhorn want to pull this into another early dragon, they do, have even numbers advantage if they pulled Thresh up to the top lane.
I think that might be what's on their minds at this point. They're letting Cola
I actually wouldn't expect him to go to the top lane. I would expect him to roam, but...
Well, he might. Still time for it. It's only 5.5, 6 minutes into the game. Dragon, I don't think there's really any need to go for it very early, though, because it's not being contested by OMG, and they're not going to try until they get Son into a position. I feel like it's going to wait a while before that becomes a possibility.
Definitely, but both these teams, I mean, OMG has already shown that they're perfectly fine with kind of stalling out the lane phase, and of course, Starhorn World Cup now, they have a true hyper carry in both lanes, that Jax and Tristana, so they're perfectly fine to slow the pace of this game and elongate that laning phase to allow these hyper carries to get the farm needed. Okay, yeah. Drug, round 2. Is he just placing deep wards?
I think he's just going to get a little bit of vision here. He's not going to run into Insect in any case, who's sitting in the mid, but he might be followed back in here. Did they go for a top lane dive, though? I think he might be. No, he's just going to get a little counter.
He's just setting up for the contest on the buff.
He is just getting out in time, not going to finish off the white. Doesn't want to be caught by Insect, but he knows he's here. Can't be spooked by the ghost if he can't see.
Eyes.
Oh, wow, down to the bottom. Hello, that's first blood. Immediately picked up by Uzi and going, getting out alive. They do trade supports, though. It's Dota 7 going down, but so is Zero. That was very quick. Too quick for the camera to pan, apparently.
Our camera guy. The difference, though, is where the kill gold went. The fact that Dota 7
got the kill. Darkness, here he goes. Son is in trouble. Insect getting jumped on by both, or Insect is getting his jump on, and yeah, that was exactly what Insect needed to do to help out that top lane. Uzi, however, meanwhile, is getting reverse ganked on, but it is Cool actually making that happen. Going. Actually going to burn a flash. Can he get away in time? There is the Cog Roam. Going, staying alive. And they answer back with the revenge kill on the roam from Cool.
Very nice roam from Cool right there. He actually burnt his ghost to make that gank happen from him. But hold on a second, because Drug might be in a little bit of trouble. There is the shockwave available.
Yep, Drug is
should be able to just
moves
walk
quick.
this one out.
Insect is on the hunt now. Here we go. Even Zero's getting involved in this one. Drug having to, oh, he's going the wrong way. That's not the base you're looking for. And he's going down.
Trying to find the execute.
He does?
Good job.
Well played, Drug.
Boss's blue buff, that's fine. Didn't give the blue buff away. Meanwhile, speaking of blue buff,
He's going to go over.
Dota going to give that over to Cool.
Yeah. Actually, OMG's played this out very well. Any mistakes they've made have been covered very quickly, and they've been able to continually come back into it. I mean, it was an issue that Son went down, but I mean, when you're dealing with Insec on a Nocturne, it's kind of hard to avoid being ganked from time to time.
Well, what decimated them was the early aggression, the snowball from the jungle, and this time you have Insec. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh my goodness, Corn is in trouble. I don't know if he can survive out of this one. You're talking about this all game. Cool coming up big now that he has got himself an ultimate and then some. Getting 2 kills in this game. Little Cog coming out to play.
Nice roam from Chicky Boy, but again, it was snowballed from the early jungle aggression. The fact is that it's a Nocturne now, so prioritizing that level 6 ultimate didn't give the chance to make that early invade and to set up that power spike there, so that's why we're seeing this immediate difference as far as from game 1 to game 2, but Dragon now being pulled from OMG now that they have the numbers advantage with Corn dead.
Yeah, and Son moving his way down there as well. This is going to probably easily be picked up unless, of course, Insec can attempt the steal. I don't know if he wants to go for it right now. Oh, he's going to flash it. Doesn't get it, but he gets out in time. Burn to Summoner. Burn to Smite as well. And that's a Dragon in OMG's pocket. Yeah, no, it was something you have to attempt, but OMG's playing this game out so much better than they were in number 1.
With the Dragon down, I expect that they'll return back to lane phase. Of course, now the top laners get to match up with that Dragon dead. No reason to have that lane swap.
Yeah, a lot of bruising and cruising, and this is how Going likes it. Of course, Cole likes to play it that way too, and he's still a tough player to deal with when he's on somebody like Jax. He's been almost constantly picking that. I think he did some Shyvana for a while, but that's kind of fallen off as his choice.
Jax Gragas, kind of the big pickups for him. But Jax, definitely a comfort champion. Even as other top laners moved away from it, he continued to stick on that champion.
Yep. Imagine if he had a real weapon.
Well, again, it just kind of speaks to the versatility that he's able to offer with that champion. He can be a tank line, he can be diving that back line, he can be the split push, so for all of the different options, because I would say that Starhorn is actually a very versatile team and kind of the things that they can offer.
With limited champions.
Yeah, but they don't just do, you know, one type of play style, so
no, they're very multidimensional. The issue is, though, that when you're up against somebody like Going, who will be able to beat you down 90% of the time, it's really, really rough to continue that if he can answer your aggression, answer your pushing 1-for-1. However, because he spent so much time in the bot lane, Going actually has had some trouble with the farm. Cheeky little maneuver. Out of 7 trying to get the Dark Bind. Yeah, that minion took one for the team for sure.
Like that minion last game that took one for the team that blocked the charm.
Oh yeah.
These minions,
no, I mean those are really coming up. When you make friends with the minions, yeah, they're the unsung heroes of League of Legends. They really take all the abuse. They never really complain, and they just keep on marching, whether you want them to or not.
With that back, though, Uzi does complete his Shiv, so he's got that going for him. A little bit of a power spike. That said, though, Corki picking up the Sheen, so very big power spike as far as the burst damage on the side of, I want to call him the little Rafflecopter, but I paused halfway through it like, maybe not.
Maybe I've been on the internet too long. That's
enough internet today.
Is still going to be a very even mid-game, I think. OMG and Starhorn are playing this one out cautiously again, but in a much more intelligent way, I think. The Dragons, if they continue to fall into OMG's pocket, that will give them a bit of an edge going forward. I don't know. When are we going to see a real fight, though? It's hard to call.
My only issue with that statement is that the playstyle change, or at least the early game, was very different. And so, you know, you want to say that OMG's playing the game completely different than they did, which of course they kind of protected themselves a little bit better in picks, but to be frank, there wasn't the same amount of pressure that was applied, so we can't say for certain if OMG would have responded if, you know, another heavy jungle invade came down and took advantage of the weak bot lane. That said, they recognized it, they made the lane swap, so... as well as picking up the self-sufficient jungler.
It's learning from a few past mistakes. Yeah, also taking away the Lee Sin I think is probably a better option. Of course, Insec has a massive champion pool and a lot of strange champions as well. I would love him to pull out Shaco during this series.
Please, no.
You gotta love it. The joke's on you.
Shaco.
Yep, that's one of those things that can happen in the LPL. Kola gonna get a couple of wards cleared out now. It's kind of interesting how the laning is sort of reset. No towers have been taken. And it's 13 minutes into this game. This is actually one of the longest we've seen, but the meta has been favoring that, delaying the laning phase.
And we expected the elongated lane phase, again, with the picks that either team built up. They're okay to do this. Although Dada, is he looking for the soul shackle? No, he's thinking about it though.
I don't think they'll go all in on this unless they have a numbers advantage.
4.14 too. Morgana got nerfed, so her damage has been hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not huge. Whoa, actually, the hook goes into the box. Dada might be in trouble. Phosphorus bomb landing onto 0, but with the buster shot, Uzi takes himself a kill. And Starhorn's bot lane exerting their pressure.
And you know, whenever you get hooked up like that, obviously it was just a mechanical misstep with the black shield, but very nice read from 0. Hey, this guy's not behind the creep wave, time to punish. And, you know, against someone as skilled as 0, you just can't make any sort of misplay like that, so unfortunate.
Yeah, it's immediately punished very quickly, and apart from that, OMG is still playing this out very well. It's almost dead even in every box you can tick. I think the Dragon, this next one coming up in a minute, will definitely start to spell out a little bit more for the game, but so far still, no towers. They really are stretching out this lane phase and expect there to be a pretty big fight when it finally does happen. But so far, they're giving a lot of respect to each other.
Do you have an invade coming from Jug? He is spotted out by Insect. Paranoia is available. No, they're not going to fight it. His team collapsed too well. I feel like Insect sacrificed a lot of map pressure because we've only really seen one Paranoia the entire game, and he rushed level 6. He was actually, you know, almost to level, you know, a whole level above Drug right now, 9 to 8. Drug was level 5 when they took the Dragon. He sacrificed his map pressure and utilizing more Paranoias for the Feral Flare. See if that pays off for him.
Now they're making a push on the mid here. So they really want to take this objective and maybe open up the map a little bit more in their favor for Dragon. Hook goes flying, doesn't connect. They will be able to defend it out just barely, but that was a lot of damage. The Dragon is only 10 seconds away. Ooh, down to the bot, Uzi. He gets the first tower of the game, all right.
So creating a bit of a pressure point and map advantage as far as the bottom side is concerned. See how they move into this Dragon. Dragon is now live.
They're both looking to collapse it from different angles.
And OMG has, you know, sufficient number of pink wards. So they could try to force this. Both teleports are up, so
I think they need to take somebody out of the fight.
They definitely do, especially because they don't have eyes on Insect.
It's really dangerous leaving him, especially him alone. Now, Insect will be backing, but OMG don't know this, and they will continue to play it out as such.
Jug looking to make a pick.
Nothing happening. Oh, I think they're going to chance the Baron now. Oh, this would be perfect timing. Insect is back. Here we go. This is starting up with 3 members right now. And immediately, Starhorn realizing, oh no, we have to go and try to contest this one. 0 is here. They're trying to scare them off. Uzi is in the back. They could collapse. Oh my goodness, a teleport in Cola. That's going to be a teleport in for good going. This will be our first real fight. The ball, it's coming up big. And that's a kill for Korn. They're trying to get out of this one. Son barely able to valk away, but Go Going is now in trouble. And Starhorn Royal Club, even though they're being poked out on the end, they have a 1-member advantage as Dada 7 just melted, and the Dragon gets canceled, and now it's time for Starhorn Royal Club to take it.
The game changer there obviously was going to be Korn's Shockwave right there. That was huge to funnel them back. A nice teleport from Colo as well, but to funnel them back into the choke point, the ramp below blue buff, and huge right there. 0 does catch Kog'Maw, not going to go into that, but free Dragon, beautiful Shockwave, and that's why you cannot let Korn have that champion.
Yeah, that was a perfect teleport. I don't think they expected their own jungle to be as warded up, and that really speaks volumes about how Vision has evolved in the LPL. That kind of play would not have been possible with even like last split's Vision coverage.
You mean this split's Vision coverage?
I didn't want to go that mean. Well, okay, let's go back 3 weeks maybe. We'll give that barrier.
With the Dragon down, the next most important objective on the map is going to be the mid-tier tower because it's going to grant the most passive vision control. We'll see if Royal Club are going to prioritize that and group for it, or if they're going to, again, try to just stay in their lanes and get as much free farm as possible. Again, you're working with the Tristana as we see Uzi walking up to that top lane.
Yeah, with that, they're just trying to cover, I think, as much of the flanks as they can and not let
He's still got Paranoia available, though.
Yeah, they can take another fight.
Sitting over the wings.
They're still prioritizing taking little leads and taking objectives out of that and throwing their weight around. Starhorn has this lead for the first time, and they're not keen to let it go. Now, Insect is spotted out on that ward, and that will prompt little Kog'Maw to be as safe as he possibly can. Meanwhile, Son and Dada 7 looking to make a play down in the bot, but this mid tower will get answered for very quickly. The tower lead will be 3-1 in just a moment.
And Colin knows he needs to be exceptionally careful right here because his jungler is visible on the map.
Oh, Corn takes a lot of poke damage, finding a Kog'Maw in a brush, living artillery and everything. That was quite a bit. And Zero actually going to get a catch on a Cool. That's going to be the paranoia spent very quickly. That's going to be a locked up and dead Kog'Maw. Zero getting the kill pick off there. Captain Surprise, a little bit of a parting blow, but still, they're not safe. Not even in their own jungle.
There's no reason for Cool to really be there. He knew that Uzi and Zero were in the area because they had just previously been in the top lane, so just unfortunate wandering, didn't have the proper control of that area to be so far forward. But nice catch by Zero.
Yeah, they go hunting and they get themselves results big time now. Drug clearing out his own jungle as you see a little bit more normalcy, but a few more picks like that and Starhorn can easily start contesting for a lot larger objectives. They, fortunately for OMG, didn't get anything off of that one, but they have to be very careful if they don't want to give up anything bigger.
OMG did get a nice item spike, though. They do have their 2 completed Trinities. So we'll see how they stack up with these items as far as the next 5v5. I believe Uzi, yeah, okay. So he's still sitting on the recipe for his Infinity Edge. I wish I could toggle to see how much gold they're sitting on, because I feel like Corn hasn't bought in a while.
Cannot wait for the tournament client, can you?
I want it so bad, please.
Yeah, sooner or later, we'll get to it. Oh, a big 5-man now going towards this mid for OMG. They're looking to make a push answer for the turret, but it's being defended very quickly. Zero making his move up there. They've got a minion wave. Do they push for it? They actually took their time to clear some wards out, and with Corn coming back, I think they're going to go away disappointed.
Sieging into Orianna with blue buff is never a fun time. They do have a nice poke with Cool, but he has to lay that down before they can they can look to do anything. And you know, diving the shockwave, diving the Jax, the box is always going to be absolutely terrifying, even with the black shield.
Oh, they do find. Speaking of Morgana, they do find, with the help of Dada7, another pickup going over to Cool. So might be a little easier to siege this up, but Corn is still that dangerous threat. And they might have to give this one up, though, in just a
they'll
moment.
get it. It's just a slower war of attrition now, so a very nice pick from Dada7 to find the binding on Zero.
Yeah, and actually, I think Dada7 has come up quite a lot bigger on this Morgana than when we last saw him play it. He has stepped up a little bit this game. A little bit. Don't give him too much credit. That tower's going down. That's going to be maybe the start of the fight if they can. Spell shielded away in sec. Not going to worry too much about the dark binding. And the secondary tower siege is going to be a lot more difficult for OMG. I don't think they're even going to attempt it.
And they have to be very careful because they don't have safe vision on the bottom, which is why you see them really pushed up towards the area that they do have vision in case a flank does come around. Paranoia just about to be available.
Cola is moving down to the bottom.
Uzi's back. He has his eye edge. That's 2 priority. Actually, he canceled.
No, they
so
want to save
OMG
this
trying
one
to force this with the Kog'Maw poke.
Okay. Now, they don't have Cola, so this is a 5v4, but he's got teleport up if they want to send him in to maybe take a fight. There is a ward in the back. Oh, and he just misses sweeping it out. Zero with the perfect placement there if they want to go for the flank. However, they're more than happy to just apply the split push pressure right now. OMG has a timer on their heads. They realize it. They send going back.
Good back by Starhorn Royal Club. Clear out the wave and then know immediately that they can find the back right there. They'll get...
Oh, there's the teleport. This is going to be the ult in. The ball delivery system! And Cool is the target, but he runs all the way back there. Now Drug, he could be in trouble, burning his flash. Hasty retreat from OMG, and nobody dies. How about that?
I don't know if they were trying to do something really cheeky right there, like catch a... did you see that animation? Was that just my stream
I think it was really strange, because I saw the shockwave land mid-paranoia. And I was like, that's not going to go anywhere.
I mean...
I think they mistimed it.
You have to think that the players understand that the Nocturne's going to extend past the range of the Orianna ball if he's going to go, like, you know, ulting the same target, unless this is just a huge miscommunication from A-Sec and Corn.
So quick. He burned his summoners in a heartbeat. Now, they will be able to muscle a dragon out of this one, but yeah, I think they expected OMG to take the fight, and OMG has proven over the course of the games tonight that they are not willing to fight in a straight 5v5 against Starhorn.
Should be noted, though, that with their aggressive play, they do force OMG off the dragon, and of course they do pick up that free objective there, so not completely lost.
It might as well be worth it. It'll be up in, you know, enough time for another fight, so you know, sometimes you look at it and you say, oh, well, we burned a lot of ults in that and we didn't get anything. But, you know, that's not true. They got Dragon, they got a lot of summoners, and just for a couple of ults, well, they'll be back up in time.
How ecstatic would you have been to see that Shockwave mid-Nocturnal connect on, you know, just a
passerby. Yeah, exactly. It's like I was just on my way to work, and all of a sudden there was a shockwave in my face. Yeah, that would have been something else. Again, we happen. I think it's hard to praise though some of the team fighting in these last 2 games, particularly that last one. It has been very mistimed, very uncharacteristically not thought out.
It feels like there's almost 4 teams playing right now, that there's just kind of 2 different facets of each team making these calls. Again, you have to recognize that Corrin, very comfortable in Orianna, would understand that I'm not going to have the range, the Shockwave's not going to be able to connect right there. So to make that call, I feel like it was just targeting issues. But likewise, on the side of OMG, not entirely cohesive as a unit, doing much better this time around than previously, but I feel like a lot of that actually goes to specifically Dada's performance on Morgana compared to the Nami and what he's able to do for his team this time around.
Although Uzi finding Dada, this is the positioning error that he has had all game, and he's gone. Goodbye, going now. Cola dueling it out with him, but that's not going to be as easy of a pickoff. He backs away empty-handed. Now San, they turn on the aggression, the heat really quickly. Paranoia, teleport coming in from going. San gets himself a little bit more courage as he goes forward to try and turn the fight onto Insect, but they do have a protect going on as the dissonance slows them down. And wow, okay. Drug, meanwhile, off screen, gets himself a pick onto Uzi, who also has positioning errors, it would seem.
I feel like that was pretty much classic, and we were just praising Dada 7 before he decided to get picked up by Uzi, but
he heard and he was like, all right, I have to live up to my reputation now. Here's the replay. We're going to see the pick off. This Cool and Uzi. Oh, Cool doesn't want any part of that one, but he does get a lot of damage onto him really quickly, and swap me in, bro. Down goes Uzi.
Didn't understand his damage burst right there, but that's the aggression of Uzi, and he is a very potent weapon, but you have to keep control of him.
He's a loose
cannon.
Rein him
in a little bit.
Literally loose cannon.
What does Kelsey say? You wind him up and you watch him go.
You could wind up a little Tristana. Watch her just bust her shot into everybody.
It's cute because he's on Tristana.
I know.
If he was on, you know, Draven, it wouldn't be as cute.
No, that'd be creepy. But Draven does do it all, so I hear.
Draven.
That was a great impression.
We've only seen one Draven. It was on SMLZ, World League Academy versus LGD.
Yeah, the lower tier teams have actually experimented a lot more this split.
Yeah, and that was a great game from SMLZ.
I don't know why more people don't pick Draven. He's very high risk, high reward, but you know, in a lot of senses, so is.
Do you really want me to answer that for you?
You know, let's not go into China talk. I'll leave that for next time. But I know you have very good reasons. I know I've gone over this with you. I'm just bemoaning it because I really like Draven as a champion. I'm
trying to get the flank right here.
Oh, Insect! Oh my goodness! He sees it. He cancels it. Oh, that's might as well be a dead Son, but maybe he can answer enough damage. No, I don't think so. And Corrin gets the pickup as that. Oh boy. Positioning error. He was shopping.
Will they do anything with it?
They will try the Baron.
Bottom. They know that his teleport's down because he teleported up to.
Oh, this is so smart right now, but it's still a 50-50.
Oh,
Zero. He is in the Baron pit. He goes down. That's a pickup for Cool. Goodbye. Good night. As the fight is once again going to continue. Insect going on to Drug right now. Jungle duel, but Dada 7's got the Soul Shackles. It's going to connect. Going. Managed to make his way the long way, and they take the fight. The Starhorn Royal Club. Cola is a blinking health bar, but 180 carry down for support right now. May not be the safest engage. He is going to pop it. That is going to be more chase coming in left and right. OMG going to turn onto this mid lane, but can they take it out? Everybody is backing in a hurry on the side of Starhorn Royal Club.
His ghost was 0.2 seconds too late to really clean up another kill, but Cool coming in huge right then. Again, making plays off of a nice binding from Dada 7, but effectively, that's the power of AP Kog'Maw. Zoned the entire team off of that Baron with huge damage coming out from the ultimate.
Well, and Cole's coming up huge right now, too. He's 4-1. He's got his Seraph's Embrace completed, yeah, and he's got the two-step as well. Now, Starhorn is making moves to themselves getting up there. They get the hook on to going, but they are going to back away from that black shield coming in. Can they take the tower out here? This would be big for OMG as Dragon is 30 seconds away. Zero making moves. He's got himself no hook connecting, and the box was wasted for the engagement purpose. However, they did disengage from it. The ball's going to connect. Now that's big for Corn right now, but they still don't want to take a fight, and they might just give up this tower. Cool, not even afraid to tank the shots a few times as they get themselves a hard-fought second-tier mid.
It was a nice shockwave, but unfortunately they didn't really have any of the engagement tools. You have to think Zero had committed so much. I believe the talisman, his flash, as well as, you know, dropping the ultimate, and to not have that cohesively go down with the shockwave at the same time, and the fact that the paranoia wasn't available, so even when the shockwave landed, there was no long-range engage to follow it up. So again, these communication issues of not being all on the same page for Starhorn Royal Club.
It has been uncharacteristic of them. During the last couple of weeks when we've seen their upswing, they didn't seem to exhibit this behavior at all. And I don't know if it's playoff nerves, I don't know if it's OMG just starting to come back into this one, but it definitely seems like not the same team that were so dominant throughout the end of the summer split.
Looks like we got ourselves a game, Pyra.
I think we do, and we have ourselves a set if this goes into game number 3 at a 1-1 score. OMG certainly looking to make it that way. Slight goal deficit in their pockets, but that is no worries. As the Baron is definitely going to be the hot ticket right now. It's 29 minutes. It's actually very late by Chinese standards for a first Baron to go down, but the Dragon is going to be picked up first by Starhorn Royal Club. The 2-man of in second. Cola going to ensure that one. And
but this is what I really like. So you have, we're in China, Pyra, by the way, so you know what that means, that the Baron dependency and the throws at Baron just magnify that by any other region's standards. And the fact that OMG does have a proficient weapon for dealing with objectives like that in the form of AP Kog'Maw, I mean, they utilized it correctly the first time around, had that nice binding, see if they can do it again, but the fact that they're, you know, they are down in the gold deficit, but I like the fact that this is very possible that Starhorn Royal Club could look for a throw on this Baron and just get destroyed by this Cog.
Yeah, these two teams definitely having a history, having a little bit of maybe post-traumatic stress over that last game's Baron calls as well. It has been very, very insane. OMG so far not wanting to leave the side of it too much, but they have done little to establish vision control. Drug has been trying to clear out, but there are a lot of very creatively placed wards right now for Starhorn.
Well, they also haven't invested into their pinks, and they really haven't gotten control of that area to walk in to kind of sweep it out.
They've given up a lot. I mean, the Dragon, if anything, they could have. It might have almost been permissible to trade the Dragon for securing up a little bit more vision control, but instead they kind of did really nothing with it. And Starhorn is perfectly okay with just continuing to show a little bit of face and try to scare OMG off of getting any more vision of the pit.
Well, another big issue that they're competing with right now is the pressure points that Tristana, Shiv, explosive shot, Orianna, blue buff, and now in this bot lane, Cola with his split push Jax going for him right now.
Yeah, he's pretty scary. Now, going scary of his own as well, but it's tough to deal with this Jax, and there is a minion wave pushing against him. However, Cola doesn't seem to mind. Going, weighing his options to go back in on this one. And that's going to be going hard. Cola, he could go down here. Blade of the Rune King helping him to stay alive with the slowdown, but now he's in the wrong minion wave. Going. He could go down here. He doesn't. And that is why he is one of the best top laners in China.
Playing with the cooldowns right there. Cola was running away, waiting for his counter-strike to come back available, but didn't respect the Aurelia, Equilibrium Strike cooldown, I believe. So that's effectively what that was. It just kind of missed timing that, but great read from Going.
Yep, OMG taking a little bit of an option to move out and try to deward a little bit more of the Baron area. Meanwhile, Starhorn Royal Club
but again, this
not
is the thing.
resting on.
OMG can't get over to that Baron area
safely
to take care of it because they're competing against the wave clear and the shove from Starhorn Royal Club.
Yeah. Now, they could try to siege up a little bit of areas of the map and maybe, you know, then make a rush for it. But it seems like Starhorn is so very hyper-aware of what's going on the map right now. It's difficult for really any surprise attacks to work, and that doesn't really seem to be OMG style. They're definitely more of a capitalize on mistakes type of team.
Well, the other big advantage that OMG has going for them as well is the fact that with that duel and Gogoing's itemization right now, he's proven that he can stand toe-to-toe with this Jax and he can win in that bot lane.
No doubt, though, this could be what they don't want right now. He goes down very quickly resets onto Uzi, looking to take the fight. Teleport coming in for Cola. Paranoia. Drug. He's in trouble. He's down. There's no more smite available. And all of a sudden, Starhorn Royal Club's Baron chances are looking quite a lot better as they go immediately over to this one. Can Cool forced to disengage from it. It will be very, very difficult. Going looking to disrupt things as well. But this one might go down, and it does. Picked up by Cola. Insect didn't even need the smite.
And the chance of their game and the momentum that they had built completely destroyed in one careless face check right there.
Yeah, Dada 7.
So unfortunate, but Starhorn Royal Club coming up very big right there. Nice pick, and they transition immediately into the Baron.
Yeah, well, you've said this in the past, that Starhorn is a team that doesn't fight without reason. Yes, they make crazy aggressive moves, but they always seem to come up with something for their efforts. And boy, did they ever. Not only did they secure the kill on Dada, they managed to pick up Drug, who was frantically trying to get away, and then, yep, it's Baron time. So they get themselves a 5-man and a pretty big lead.
Well, and frankly, right now, if you look at, if we're taking the first game and this game, there's been a blueprint now set up for Starhorn Royal Club in finding success should they close out this game now that they do have the power and the driver's seat of the Baron. And it's on this Baron control and OMG's lack of vision control that allows these picks to be made. You think about the first game, it was the pick that was made underneath the Baron by the river, and now again, Dada just walks into an area he doesn't need to be, gets punished for it. So we'll see if this turns around or if OMG is able to stall this out.
Yeah, if they could do it, it would be a really, really, really nice move by them. They have been shown in the past to be able to anti-siege it up well, but their composition is a little bit different this time. Dada just simply has to stop getting caught. It's cost them so much this game. Now this tower is under siege. This is a rough time for OMG.
They should be out-comped at this point. Honestly, the Baron is going to guarantee late game for Starhorn Royal Club. I mean, we're at 35 minutes already, so we're coming to that point. But this is late game for Orianna, for Jax, for Tristana. So that's very concerning on the side of OMG.
Yeah, that's a big problem too. Despite the fact that Cola has been out-dueled by Going on several occasions, it's not going to matter because the team cohesiveness from Starhorn Royal Club is simply that much better. And, we talked about it before, OMG is lost without a really good support in that role, and it is unfortunate for them that just coming up into the playoffs, they had to swap over to Dada, who clearly is not on the level of Cloud, but, there were whisperings that he was affecting the team morale.
Game not over yet. See if OMG maybe has something up their sleeves to
They will try and get the dragon, but this is seen out immediately, and Starhorn's going to take the chance to go in on this one. It could be a slaughter right now. Dada's in trouble. Oh, they're focusing on Dasan as well. Dada's down, however, and they're trying to disengage from this one. Insect just scaring the hell out of everybody as they get one kill and disengage that dragon. Meanwhile, Drug having to boom all the way over into the Wraith camp just to get away. That could have been a lot worse for them. But still, they can't take anything.
Pretty much, but that's the tagline of effectively that entire event. That could have gone so much worse. They were very lucky that they got out with just losing one. I don't know what they were personally thinking. Again, perhaps throwing and ending the game right there for the Dragon. That said, only lose one. Lose the tower, though.
It's starting to get a little bit out of hand right now. Starhorn turning up the heat. They have a pretty massive gold advantage in their pocket. Baron buff still on them, and they should be able to grab the dragon now, completely free of contention.
But the Baron buff, relatively complete. They shouldn't be able to grab too much here unless, they immediately look to create pressure. I expect that they'd back, though.
Looks like that's right.
Although, yeah, so, I mean, you think of what they really accomplished with the Baron. Yeah, it granted them some more time to ramp up their scaling, but as far as, cracking the inhibitor line or anything like that, they didn't find a major structural and map pressure advantage.
No, that's true. So it wasn't huge, but OMG's inhibitor baseline is always the most difficult to crack. They anti-siege incredibly well, but you're right, they are slowly getting out-comped just because of the more gold in the pockets. Now, Uzi might be caught here. He could be in a little bit of trouble, but he's taking a while to go down, and he booms everybody away, actually finding Drug. Oh, before falling to Dada 7. So even when he gets caught, he gets something. And that's not promising for OMG's late game.
Actually took 2 auto attacks. I think if he would have initially expected his burst damage and then immediately rocket jumped away, he could have walked out of that. But
here's the 4v4 fight. Whoa, Insect backed off of that really quickly. Going says, bring it on. And I don't know. It's really hard to say because OMG is still showing these glimmers of hope, but they're just coming off worse for the wear every time.
Well, OMG is a very cohesive unit, you know, and we can debate all day about the lack of synergy or kind of the last-minute pickup between the support pick, but as you know, the core 4 members of OMG, they're a very cohesive unit in their teamwork, and their team fighting is rather impressive. So when they get these skirmishes, or they get kind of like a fair fight, you know, they're doing relatively well. That said, you know, overcoming a 10,000 gold disadvantage and Insect getting caught by
Going has him in his sights, but he is feared away for just a minute. Can Insect get away? I don't know about that. Going doubles down with the flash. This could be Insect going down right now. He's got his team in his back, and he's going in for it. San's hooked up on a line. The fight will begin, and San valks away. And again, nobody dies. How about that for a tagline?
Still going though. Uzi
still going
forward.
Here. He wanted that, man. Blood in his eyes.
Just waiting for him to rocket jump into everyone.
No, Uzi, I think he learned his lesson from last time.
We shall see. A lot of room to run right there. Insect very lucky that his team was able to collapse fast enough to save him right there, but a lot of towers are down. That makes Aurelia very scary for her chase potential, that there's not going to be an objective there to save you.
Oh, and this top tower, that could be bursted down very quickly. They're actually just going to tank the shots, not even waiting for the minions. Going has been known to do this, and he could back off of this one. Teleport's coming in, going to get canceled, so that's Kola burning that summoner spell as they tried to get them to back off it. And they should be able to get away, however. Zero trying to bring up the flank as well as Insect right now. This is dangerous for the 5-man of OMG, but it is a much more even fight should they choose to take it.
They can't afford to die here. Yes, that's the important thing. This Baron coming up in 30 seconds, no one can afford to get...
If that had connected on somebody, and it was inches from it. Uzi now finding Drug. Oh no, this could be a huge problem. He's going in, cuts Kola going in. They find going. He's in trouble as well. Uzi jumping in the backside. They are going to be able to find a fight. Buster shot. Finishing up the kill for Uzi. Baron is 3 seconds away. And is this enough to start it up? I think Starhome Royal Club is still looking for a chase. Cool. He's on the wrong side of the pit. He's going to flash away from the shockwave, but can he get away? He's still got no summoners in his pocket. That is going to be the start of the Baron.
He's got a long way to waddle, but I think they're more interested in the Baron.
They're going to try to collapse on this one. It's going down really quickly, though. Insect is low. They have a smite available. They're going to find Zero. Blow him up. Kola, he could go down, too. Drug's still in there. Oh, that's Baron going down. And Kola falls. It's 3 members still have the Baron buff. But do they want to take this fight? OMG is thinking about it, but Data 7's health bar might change their mind, as Uzi is still a threat, even on his own. And OMG just looking for anything they can get an advantage back into this game.
Kola, the unsung hero right there, sacrificing his life to make sure that Drug was CC'd and zoned out from attempting a steal, especially because Orianna is apparently running Smite. That's back-to-back Barons that Insect has not found.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing his team's been able to secure them up anyways, so they won't worry about it, or will they? Insect, oh my goodness, Paranoia all the way on to Drug. He doesn't give up on the aggression, and they might be able to catch out Son if they know he's here, but they don't. Cool, going to disengage from this one. Juicier target at work, and this mid tower going to be under siege.
Not much that they can do here. Again, you're trying to anti-siege into an Orianna, Tristan, although San
they might take a
on the
reverse
side
fight on it. There's the Valk
Uzi
over. Uzi, wow, he's going low, and they should be able to find that, but the Buster shot's back. They do get it. Nice living artillery out of Cool, and that is one pick-off, one less member of Starhorn with the Baron buff right now. It is currently sitting at 2. That is, of course, Insect and Korn. See if they can push forward with this now. They do have Korn backing, and there's not much of a minion wave here. Waves pushing against them right now. They are in a little bit of trouble. And nothing's going to happen. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness, this is going to start right now. Okay, oh wow, Insect is taken pretty low. This could be a lot of trouble here, but they're going to back off it. Okay, OMG, I feel like they're effectively wasting the pickoff they got, Frosk.
Well, they're still very far behind, so they found a pick, yeah, and they found the room for aggression again. Give Gogoin's Aurelia an inch, and he'll take a mile, but they're still respecting. That that's a 10k gold.
Yeah,
deficit.
but they're having a lot of trouble though. Their base is now being sieged on by a gigantic minion wave, and they're opting to go for the dragon here. I mean, this is not necessarily the best decision. They will be able to take it out, but they're going to lose the tower for it.
Well, they previously almost threw the entire game over the dragon. They have no qualms losing a inhibitor tower over the dragon.
That was definitely sloppy play from OMG.
Pyra, it's worth more gold, don't you see?
Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, but I don't think that's the right way to think about it.
Lack of communication. Who's going back? I'm going back. I thought you were going back.
Yeah, OMG is definitely having some trouble on the communication side of things, and Starhorn punishing that relentlessly. They're still very much in the lead. However, Uzi has to be careful of his positioning, and these fights can turn against him. Nonetheless,
that's huge.
It's still pretty big, yeah.
They just broke their own inhibitor line on the bottom side of the map.
And when Baron comes back up again?
Exactly. Competing with that pressure point. I mean, they already have so many things working against them to try to make this comeback happen, and something like that happens. Very, very unfortunate. And Starhorn recognizing this instantly. Pings went down. This is an open inhibitor, a very important inhibitor to future plans should we look at a 3 Baron game.
Well, it's been one of those days so far. No reason for it not to be now, as this clock is ticking up into 44.5 minutes. OMG definitely on the back foot. They still have a chance to come back into this, but they have to start making moves, and they've yet to crack the inhibitor line of Starhorn World Club, while their own has been forced wide open by minions and an error of themselves.
See what Going can do here for his team. Definitely kind of the hot ticket if OMG are looking to crawl back into this.
I think crawl's a really good way to put it, to be honest. They haven't been as out of it, but yeah.
Limp, but I decided on crawl.
Whatever it is Kog'Maw does, sort of waddles. I think that's another good word for it. Going will be able to split out this to keep the wave from pushing too hard on the mid, but it's so difficult for OMG to take a fight, and they effectively have a timer. Everybody but Cool is kind of in a little bit of trouble late game. Maybe not Going necessarily, but Son never really got to that level. They don't typically rely on him anyways. Now the 1v1 going down between Insec and Going. We've seen this before, but here comes the cavalry. Insec, can he get out? He's stunned up. Oh, that could be trouble, but they're going to take the fight anyways. Tormented Soil trying to zone them out, and that's going to be a follow-up from Going. They come in darkness. Oh, all the way back. It's a juke with the ultimate paranoia. Insec getting followed on drug. He's going too far. He's down. That's going to be 0 down as well. It's a 1-for-1, but they've lost the jungler, and now they look to take another fight. Big shockwave comes up as they disengage this one, but Going still going to find Cola, and it is a 4v3. Can't even keep my numbers straight anymore. Down to 7 once again, pushed out too far forward. Uzi going to be able to find him. They turn the fight around again. That's a lot of damage on the distance. Sonic Cool, they better be careful. That's more pickups. They get themselves even more and Going, the last man standing, as Korn narrowly avoids dying to the Acathian surprise. Starhorn should be able to get an inhibitor here, Frosk.
Entirely on Uzi, that fight right there. Came up huge. Dada, like you said, too far forward. Immediately punished. Got the reset. Good shockwave from Korn to push in, knowing that they had found their window of opportunity there. But hold on, teleport going.
Teleported into his own base. Going, looking his eyes on Korn. Can he get the kill? Distance coming in. He finds it. He can take the 1v2. Or can he? Going down. That's going to be an ace kill. And a few more seconds until Drug comes up. But that will certainly be an inhibitor going over to Starhorn World Club. Uzi and Insec able to take the 1v2 against Going. I suppose that's still an achievement for that one.
And again, look at the...
that's one tower down. Oh my, a teleport coming in for Cola right now. Can they stall this one out? This tower could go down. There's still a lot of death timers still ticking away. That's the last one, and it's Drug trying to hold his own in the 1v3, but that Nexus is going down. Froskerin, Starhorn Royal Club with game number 2.
Starhorn coming up huge right there. Of course, it's going to be that... I actually think Uzi should get the MVP for that. That was a fantastic late-game performance from him.
He flashed, he jumped, and he always got kills even if he died.
Creating space, him and Zero perfectly on point, but I feel like kind of the big tell, not just for Starhorn Road Club, but for OMG, was Uzi pressuring forward and pinging the Nexus Tower and Insec walking away from it. Just these slight miscommunication errors on both sides, but luckily for Starhorn Road Club, more blunders on OMG side, particularly letting that inhibitor tower fall.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes were made. Not the same caliber as the last game we saw, but OMG definitely having some trouble adjusting, and they are on the edge of falling into the loser's bracket playing against LGD. Glad to see when we come back. Will they manage to turn it around and force game number 4? Or will it be another 3-0, this time in favor of Starhorn? Guys, you are watching the LPL, you're watching the playoffs, and we'll be right back.
那今天我们就将在所有有在现场留影的这个观众朋友当中抽